Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis. This is a deep analysis that we are used to have every week. We're gonna dive deep of course in the weekly and the 4-hour chart, the daily, the 1 hour to see what's gonna happen and what we might expect for the next week. So starting on the 2 weeks chart here for the all-time high, as you can see of course for every 4 years we see a new cycle for Bitcoin, right? So in this first cycle, we saw, of course, an all-time high here for wave 1. The next cycle, we saw a new all-time high, exactly almost before 1 month, yeah, or 2 weeks for the 4 years, right? We got a new all-time high. The third cycle, we saw, of course, the all-time high even a little bit before 5 to 6 6 weeks. I would say like 2 months is almost. But this cycle right now, we got a new all-time high even before a year. And this is before 1 year. And if you have realized, we have started, of course, to accelerate the movement of Bitcoin towards the upside. Because we're getting all-time high every cycle, of course. Right now, we get it before 1 year. After 3 years, we got, of course, a new all-time high, meaning Bitcoin is accelerating and shifting the market to be much more faster towards the upside. And currently, because we have finished, of course, a bigger impulse here as an overview, we have a big 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. We finish a wave A or a wave 1, right? And we're looking, of course, for an A, B, and a C towards the upside, or a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Currently, the latest impulse that we have finished is of course the formation of your wave 1 in an orange scenario, where you have a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, which it's gonna form your wave 3 in the blue count in case we are in big impulse, or it's gonna finish simply your wave C if we are in a zigzag. Meaning right now we are in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Your wave 3 over 3 is the most impulsive and explosive wave that you can have, of course, in a chart. Now, as you can see, of course, as well, we are moving towards the downside right now, correctively. And when you are in a wave 3 over 3, you have to be careful. It is only with Bitcoin, not with any kind of other chart. Only Bitcoin does this. It's a characteristic of Bitcoin. When a wave 3 over 3, the wave 2 before it becomes sometimes very, very shallow. I'm talking here about 75% this happens on Bitcoin chart. The wave 2 becomes very, very shallow, hitting between the 0.23 and the 0.38 without reaching the 0.38, and that because we know how much the market is very positive on buying Bitcoin, and that's why it doesn't reach, of course, the 0.38. It is in a rush to move towards the upside. Our target at 0.38 is the 51K800, which is in confluence with this a very stronghold area as a support, which we have formed, of course, the last bull run with a big wave 4 here. Yeah, a very, very strong area, of course, as a support, and I believe that the price exactly is gonna hit the middle between the 0.23, 0.38 and moving toward the upside, because anyway we are in a wave 3 over 3, and this add of course a stronger view here or a stronger insights that we can of course have just a very shallow wave 2. Your wave 2 has to be 3 wavy structures, and moving toward the upside, of course, we are looking here for a 200K scenario at 1.618 taken from this wave 1. In case we hit the 0.38, we will get a 200K scenario for a wave 3. In case we hit a little bit higher for the wave 2, of course, the target can move higher and higher. But don't forget as well that this wave 3 is only your wave 3. You still have, of course, 4 and a 5 after it in case you are impulsive. Yeah? Meaning we still can reach even 300, 400K for the next 2 cycles. However, don't forget that those cycles are becoming faster and faster in time. So we have to be careful. Bitcoin, of course, might be very, very fast toward the upside this time, and especially that we are in a wave 3 over 3. Let's move to the daily chart here for the bullish scenario in case we are still bullish on this, of course, cycle where we have a triple 1 2 for our bullish scenario. We have 1 2 1 2 1 2, 3 4 and a 5, 4 and a 5, and you're looking for a final 4 and a 5 because you have triple 1 2s, you're expecting triple 4 and a 5, right? So basically why we are not bullish anymore and why I'm not, of course, with the scenario anymore. I'm not showing it so often anymore on the daily analysis every day because, of course, it is now even much more far possibility to happen. Why? Because it was much more possible to happen if we get ABC here or WXY, whatever it is, and you move directly toward the upside. That would be much more possible. But now what happened is that you took 3 waves up, 3 waves down, taking the low, signaling that still need, of course, for higher, but because it is an expanding flat, meaning it's gonna finish somewhere here and continue the trend toward the downside. Therefore, I'm not setting up this, of course, a daily scenario anymore. And of course, yeah, this would be possibly the last time we added, of course, as well in the deep analysis. This one is gone, and of course, our true finished scenario here is this one, with a big WX and a Y, where your wave Y finished in A, B, C, D, E for a triangle, or even it can be A, B, C in a running flat. In both case scenario, triangle or a running flat, you finished 1, 2, 1, 2. 3, 4, and 3, 3, 4 and a 5, 4 and a 5, you finished the bull run, you finished a wave 1 as explained on the parabolic chart all-time history. This is your biggest wave 1 and you're looking for a wave 2 right now, which is, of course, potentially is gonna land in the middle of this structure somewhere here around the 51k, and of course it can be, of course, higher based on the 0.23, but of course I'm expecting to come back to this area in the middle somehow, yeah, for a wave 2. This is what I'm expecting here for the daily, of course, and as highest possibility right now we are moving in an A. Your wave V is not finished. You have 3 waves down, 3 waves up for a wave B, of course, in an expanding flat, and we're looking for a wave C towards the downside. However, I believe that this wave B is very, very fast in time, and I think that it's gonna take a while, even much longer, to range inside this area and then moving to the wave 2. I'm gonna explain this, of course, in the next possibilities on the 4-hour chart. So as we can see on the 4-hour chart, we have, of course, our possibility here, the first possibility and the highest possibility, where we have, of course, potentially finished a WXY for our wave A here, and we're looking for 3 waves down, and we're looking at an expanding flat here, 3 waves up, 3 waves down, 1 2 3 4 5, to finish a wave B, of course, in this scenario here, and then moving toward the downside. However, of course, the time required for a wave B would be perfectly, if would be respected, would be perfect, of course, inside the 0.618 and 1.38, of course. Now, the perfect time would be the 1-to-1, meaning, yeah, you have to expect that we might have more range, something here, of course, coming in the next possibilities. However, in both case scenarios right now, whatever it happens, we still need, of course, higher prices, of course, to finish this expanding flat. Don't forget that it can finish even at 1.38, 100k, so it can be retested the 100k and then moving toward the downside. Now the next possibility is, because as I mentioned, we might need more time, of course, for this wave B to be finished as ABC here, where we are looking for this wave A and then B and a C, of course. You are looking for this scenario in a W, X, and a Y. Big, very, very big WXY, which it can take more time, meaning you're gonna finish anyway, potentially this as an expanding flat, and then, of course, with this expanding flat, it's gonna be your W, and then getting an X here, and then in a Y. It can be, of course, taking the high here or not, it doesn't matter, but then moving toward the downside. Meaning the next challenge for Bitcoin is gonna be really hard, yeah, because in a W, X, and a Y, don't forget that, okay, so far we got a signal that this is gonna be an expanding flat, but can we know what the X is gonna be? Nobody knows. It can be anything. It can be a zigzag, it can be a triangle, it can be a flat, it can be another WXY. That's very, very complicated structure that we are coming for. Now, for now, it's still easy, of course, to say, okay, we're looking potentially for higher in a W. It can be, of course, something else I'm going to explain in case, of course, we move to the downside. But yeah, in case, of course, higher possibility is to move for high prices, and then, of course, moving down, but in what shape, nobody knows. Yeah. Potentially we move directly for a wave C. Nobody knows as well. It depends on the impulses, right? If we get an impulse, then okay, we have to start to figure out. If we get impulse here, we have to say, okay, we have two possibilities. Whether we move down for a wave C 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or we are in a zigzag for a wave X, for example. Yeah. These are the possibilities, guys. Now, another possibility, of course, is to move in a running flat. So, you know, we're looking for a wave C here, right, to finish the main wave B. Here we go, this small wave B. So we're looking here at this A, right, we have double A here, A, B, and a C, right, to finish a bigger wave B, right? In this case scenario, what if we move in an ending diagonal? We form a running flat, A, B, and a C, right, which is rare case scenario normally, but what if? And then moving toward the downside for a big wave C in A, B, and a C. Or, of course, continuation toward the upside to finish a normal wave B. But it is a scenario, of course, in case we move for lower in a running flat. So we have to be careful with it. And a final scenario, which is, it can be much more complex structure here that we can have, is of course the following. I'm gonna explain 1 second. Here we go. All right, so we have a big A, B, and a C, right? And we're looking right now, okay, that this is our expanding flat toward the upside, but what if this wave B transformed to a WX and a Y? And then move for lower fibs taken from your wave A here as A, B, and a C as an expanding flat. Meaning, what if this wave B is expanding with lower prices and time, yeah, to be finished? Yeah, so just as possibility. And this scenario will bring us directly toward the downside in case we are moving, of course, in a complex structure for a wave B. However, this one is far possibilities until now because we have an impulse here. Until, of course, we break this impulse at the 886, then I would say, okay, something is wrong going on, right? This is the scenarios. Yeah, basically highest possibility for me right now is, of course, potentially this one, yeah, like having a wave W and potentially having an X here and then a Y toward the upside and then moving toward the downside for a wave C. Just to take some time for the bear market to accumulate also some power, some strength for Bitcoin and so on, and then moving toward the downside and then launching the next bull run for Bitcoin. Now, on the 1 hour chart, if we take a look on our 1 hour chart, of course, what do we have and what to expect for today, tomorrow, and Monday, potentially? So we have ABC here for wave A. As we mentioned, of course, in the possibilities, currently highest possibility, of course, is to move with an A, B, and a C toward the upside to finish a big wave B here after bottoming a wave A. And then, of course, continuation toward the downside. Okay, and of course this wave C has already formed a 1-2 here for us, and we're looking for a wave 3, 4, and a 5 to hit the targets which it should be normally 1.38 or 1.618, but I doubt that we're gonna take the 1.618 over the 100k. I think 100k is a target, psychological target, of course, to retest the 100k and also, yeah, a little bit trick the traders to enter the market for a new all-time high and then boom, moving toward the downside. So, and that because we are in an A, B, and a C expanding flat and not in a new bullish scenario, right? So this is the difference. Now, if we take a look, of course, inside this area, we are looking here, of course, at yesterday. I mentioned be careful when we are in a wave 3 over 3, and that because we are in 1, 2, 3 right now, right? And you have formed a wave 1 here and then 2. Your wave 2, for example, as I mentioned, Bitcoin always tend to take only the 0.23 when you are in an impulse of a wave 3 over 3. And as you can see here, this is your wave 1, and I'm gonna explain why this is a wave 1 as well. As you can see, we didn't touch the 0.38. Your only 0.23 was giving, and it always between the 0.23 0.38, exactly in between and moving toward the upside. Why? Because we are in a wave 3 over 3, right? Because you are in 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, which is gonna finish your main wave 3. So this is your 3 over 3. And this is, of course, an example. Now, why this is our wave 1? And you will tell me, why not this your wave 1, 2? Okay, I'm gonna explain why. Because, guys, if you take a look here, if you want to take this as an impulse, you have to consider this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. You're saying, yeah, perfect. It's 5 waves, right? It's not perfect because if you take the fib levels from this one to this one, you will see you did not reach the 1-to-1 fib level, meaning that your wave 3 is shorter than your wave 1. And if you repeat the same thing from your wave 3 to your wave 5 here, you will see that your wave 5 is longer than your wave 1. Meaning wave 3 in this case scenario is the shortest between the 5 and the 1, which is not allowed in Elliott wave rules. The only possible way is to have an impulse is 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 toward the upside, finishing wave 1, finishing wave 2 perfectly as explained, of course, and then moving with a new 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5 toward the upside. Currently, we are, of course, inside this area for a wave 1, 2 here. We are in another formation, micro 1, 2, and moving toward the upside, you have hit currently the 0.618 very nicely, right? And then potentially moving toward the upside, but don't forget that you are as well here in 3 ways down, 3 ways up, and you would like to see 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So potentially we can still expect, of course, one more move towards the downside. And I would say if we take the fib levels taken, of course, from this move towards the upside here to the bottom of this one here, this level. So A, 3 ways down, 3 ways up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exactly. You're looking, of course, for the 1-to-1 fib level. Yeah. In this case scenario, you are looking in confluence of targets here. Yeah. If you take your confluence target for a wave 2 from this big impulse toward the upside, you will see that it is under the 0.786. But it can, of course, be saved and not taking the 0.886, of course, and then, of course, hitting only here and then moving toward the upside. Potentially, we are moving potentially here in a wave 4 and a 5. I can see that the wave 5 anyway will not be very, very deep here. It's going to hit almost the 0.618 or in between and then moving toward the upside. So basically, we are still bullish until, of course, the 886. Meaning, if we break this 82,900, so I'm going to turn off everything here. I'm going to keep the 886. If we take the 82K990, that means, of course, yeah, something else is unfolding here. Yeah. in case we take this one, therefore we cannot consider the bullish scenario, and we have to take a possibility that we saw, of course, today with a complex structure, yeah, as a longer wave B towards the downside, meaning still expanding, of course, those fib levels. Hopefully not. That was it for Bitcoin Deep Analysis. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.